They say destiny is written in stars, but the night he was born, destiny rewrote itself. Two moons rose in the sky at once, one pale silver, one burning red, and the world understood that a prophecy older than kingdoms had just awakened. This is the forbidden tale, whispered by ancient winds, carried through forgotten ruins, and now resurrected by echoes of time. His legend begins on a night the universe broke its own rules. On the far edge of the known world, beyond deserts of shimmering gold and mountains older than memory, stood the secluded village of Arelane, a place so ordinary that no map bothered to mark it. But on one night, it became the center of all creation. Clouds scattered as if fleeing, winds crashed into silence, and the heavens trembled. When the silver moon rose, the villagers felt a strange warmth. But when the second moon, deep crimson, glowing like a living ember, rose beside it, animals fled, trees bent, fires extinguished themselves, and infants cried without reason. Only one newborn did not cry. He opened his eyes calmly, staring at the twin moons as though he recognized them. His name was Kael. Kael grew faster, stronger, and more aware than any child in Arelane. He could hear heartbeats from meters away, sense storms before they formed, and see faint trails of light that others could not. Elders whispered that he carried moon sight, a gift mentioned only once in forbidden scrolls. The scrolls foretold that a warrior born under two moons would become the bridge between realms, either saving or destroying all existence, depending on the path he chose. His mother dismissed the rumors, but the villagers watched the boy with fear wrapped inside wonder. When Kael turned 10, the first sign of destiny appeared. While wandering the outskirts of the village, he discovered a massive stone structure buried beneath centuries of dust, an archway, impossibly smooth, carved with symbols that pulsed faintly with light. When Kael touched it, the symbols reacted, forming shifting patterns that danced like fire. The arch trembled, awakening for the first time in 1,000 years. It was the Gate of Souls, one of the ancient gateways built when realms were closer, built by beings forgotten by even the oldest myths. Kael ran home terrified, but deep in his heart he knew the gate wasn't threatening him. It was calling him. For years, Kael trained with the village protector, Master Joran, a veteran of forgotten wars. Joran saw in Kael not just strength, but something otherworldly. Speed that blurred the air, instincts that bordered on precognition. Joran taught him combat, discipline, and restraint. He said, "Strength without wisdom destroys kingdoms. Strength with wisdom builds them." Kael listened, but inside him an unexplainable hunger grew, an urge to explore the gate, to understand the symbols that only he could see glowing beneath his skin whenever he grew angry or frightened. When Kael turned 17, the sky changed again. For the first time since his birth, the twin moons returned. The village panicked, but Kael felt thought instead of fear. He walked to the gate that same night, unable to stop himself. As he touched the symbols, the entire structure roared to life, shaking the earth. A deep voice echoed in his mind, not human, not mortal, not bound by time. "Child of twin lights, the worlds are unbalanced, the shadows rise, your path begins." A blinding flash swallowed him. When he awoke, he was no longer in Arelane. He stood in a vast realm illuminated by floating blue flames, a world where shadows moved on their own and ruins breathed with magic. This was the Luminara realm, the realm of the ancient moonkeepers. A towering figure approached him, shimmering like stardust bound into armor. He introduced himself as Sarion, last guardian of the moonkeepers. "You were born under prophecy," Sarion said. "Your existence was shaped by the moons themselves. You are neither bound to humans nor to us. You are the balance-born." Kael struggled to understand. Sarion placed a hand on his shoulder, and time itself froze. Kael's mind filled with visions, wars between realms, creatures forged of shadow swallowing cities whole, and a monstrous entity called the Oblivion King rising from the abyssal rift. Only one thing stood against that future: a lone warrior wielding moonfire, a power that flowed from both moons. That warrior was Kael. Sarion trained him harder than any mortal teacher could. Days felt like years, years like seconds. Kael learned to channel lunar energy, forming weapons of pure light, bending shadows into binding chains, and hearing whispers of fate that floated between worlds. But the greatest lesson Sarion taught him was this: your power is not light or shadow, it is choice. The moons mark you, but they do not control you. By the time Kael mastered the Moonkeeper arts, he could shatter stone with a whisper, outrun lightning, and bend the very fabric of reality. But inside, he still felt split between two worlds. One night, the red moon within the realm dimmed unnaturally. Sarion looked terrified. He said, "The Oblivion King rises. Your world is in danger." Kael demanded to be sent back, and the gate obeyed. He appeared in Erelane again, but it was no longer peaceful. Shadows crawled across the ground like living creatures, devouring everything in their path. The sky cracked with storms of black lightning. A colossal shadow shaped like a horned titan rose from the mountains, the Oblivion King himself. Kael ran into battle, but the creature wasn't just strong, it was unstoppable. Every strike Kael landed vanished into smoke. Every blast of moonfire the creature absorbed. The Titan spoke in a voice like collapsing worlds. "Child of twin lights, your destiny was written by fear. You cannot stop the inevitable." Kael fell, wounded. All seemed lost. But as he lay on the ground surrounded by terrified villagers, he finally understood Sarion's words. The moons gave him power, but destiny wasn't chains. It was potential. He didn't need to fight like a moonkeeper. He didn't need to fight like a human. He needed to fight like himself. A roar burst from his chest as silver and crimson energy exploded outward, merging into a single blinding white flame, the rarest power of all, eclipse fire. Kael rose, glowing like a star torn open. He attacked the Oblivion King again, but this time every strike tore away pieces of the Titan's existence. The sky turned white as the two forces clashed, light against void, destiny against destruction. In one final move, Kael leapt toward the Titan's core, channeled every memory, every fear, every hope, and unleashed a blast of eclipse fire so powerful that the entire mountain range trembled. The Oblivion King shattered in a scream that echoed across all realms. The shadows dissolved, the sky cleared, peace returned. But Kael did not celebrate. He had saved the world, but he knew the balance between realms was fragile. As the moons faded back into the night, he whispered, I'll protect both worlds, even if I walk alone." The villagers hailed him as a legend, but Kael knew his journey had only begun. Somewhere in the shifting winds, Sarion's voice echoed, "Your destiny is not to end a story, but to begin many." And now, through echoes of time, his story travels across ages, carried to you so his legend never fades. If you want this tale and more like it to live, breathe, and grow, then honor the ancient warrior's journey. Like this story, share its echo, and subscribe for more legends reborn through time.